Um, Hi, this is Daron Kornbluth from Mosaica. I'm sitting here in the Mosaica office, which used to be quite busy, Rabbi. Now it's just me. Everybody else is working at home, Corona times. And it's our schus to have a few minutes with Rabbi Alpren, Rabbi Yehonason Alpren, the author of A Bridge Called Prayer. Can you see that on the screen? Is that A Bridge Called Prayer? Beautiful sefer. This came out how many years ago? This is
about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. And had a wonderful reception. Readers always want to know, like, the person behind the book. So can you tell us, Rabbi, how did you come to write such an impressive book on tefillah? What was the genesis of it?
I think it really began from understanding that really nothing in life can be taken for granted. Where I came from in England, I saw so many different scenes of people who had gone through the history in Klal Yisrael, people who come out from the war, people who were successful in business, and young people, the friends who had died, and young people who seemed very successful. And it can't possibly be that everything is just like happenstance. And I came to the realization that that's not the way to look at the world. You have to be a little bit more introspective and understand that the way everything ticks is not necessarily something which is by chance. And once you look at it and examine it, your own being, your own person, who you are and how you function, and you realize the world around you, especially growing up with refugees who came from the Holocaust, where I grew up in England, I saw these people adjust and acclimatize to life in England. You can't take it for granted. Life cannot be taken for granted. People who are in pain, people who are successful, and it's all from a connection from above, and therefore you have to connect with the Almighty. And without that, how can a person possibly survive? You just go through life almost like a gamble, with luck or pot luck, and it's not like that. Life is much more serious than that.
Wow.
I think that's what it came from.
So, you remind me that we're going through one of those times now, Corona time, and life is can't take anything for granted anymore, even if we mistakenly 6 months ago thought we could. I noticed that we have a minyan in my parking lot. The neighbors, Davin, we have a shul next door, so we just take the Sefer Torah and 3 times a day. And I noticed something this morning, that the speed with which people daven is so varied. In the same minyan, you have some people that are davening the Amida, the main, tefillah, Shemona Esrei, for 10 minutes, and some people for 90 seconds. I was somewhat in the middle. But some people seem to have trouble connecting. And we pray 3 times a day. And even when there's stuff going on in the world, is there, this is a short interview. People are busy. Maybe we'll be able to do this again sometime, which would be great. But do you have any sort of short words, some words of advice to people who have been saying these words 3 times a day their whole lives, but it doesn't seem to connect? What is the advice to give them?
I think don't concentrate too much on the length, and don't be put off, example, on Rosh Hashanah when you seem to be one of the first ones who finished. It's not a question of time, it's a question of focus, and I think that's really crucial. I remember I had the opportunity to daven with Rabbi Eliashiv, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, in his minyan, and I think he was one of the first to finish. I remember in Gateshead Yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva of Leib Guvitz was also one of the first to finish. It's a mistake to think that time is of the essence, focus is of the essence. There is a beautiful story told, if I can share it with you, about Rabbi Eliezer, the great Tanner, who used to daven with his yeshiva. And one day the Bochum came and said, Rebbe, we can't have this person as a chazan anymore. He's impossible. He goes so fast. Who can daven with such a person goes so fast? To which Rabbi Eliezer turned around and said, yeah, well, tell me, did it take as long as it takes to say Kael no b'far no lo, which is Moshe Rabbeinu when he davened for Miriam? Did it go as fast as that? So they laughed, said, no, Rebbe, it wasn't as fast as that. So Rabbi Eliezer said, so what are you complaining about? Next day, someone went down to be the chazan, and he took ages. He was like a tortoise. He was a snail. It was impossible to daven with him. They came and said, Rebbe, how can we possibly daven with this person? To which Rabbi Eliezer turned around and said, tell me, did it take 40 days and 40 nights? So he said, no, Rebbe, no. So he said, well, why are you complaining? Once Moshe Rabbeinu davened a short prayer when Miriam was sick, and once he davened a long prayer when it was after the Chet of the Egel, of the golden calf. So we see that time, Rabbi Eliezer was teaching, is not the focus. What you must try and do is make the best that you possibly can. Be articulate, be clear, be coherent, be eloquent. Be passionate. And that, of course, is the secret. Once you can be passionate, it's called an avodah shabalev, the service of the heart. If you're able to put your heart into it and do it quickly, I know myself, if I go too long in prayer, I space out. I can't do it. It's too long. If I go too short, it's too much too slow. I have to find a pace. And once you find a pace, which is good for you, use commas, use phrases, make it come alive like a conversation. And you'll see it works for you. That's my lesson
Beautiful.
to people.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Rabbi. That is so helpful. Everybody, this is Rabbi Alpren, the author of this important and very touching sefer on prayer, a bridge called prayer. Thank you very much for your time, Rabbi. It's been a pleasure. We'll do this again sometime.
Okay. Thank you so much.